Hello, today we're going to read from the Midwest Reading, pages 178 to 182. Food for the Nation. Before the early 1900s, most people in the United States worked on farms. Each morning they ate a big meal to give them plenty of energy for the busy day. Breakfast included meat, eggs, fried potatoes, and bread. Sometimes there was a pie for dessert. Then Will Kellogg had a new idea about breakfast. Kellogg was a businessman and an inventor who lived in Battle Creek, Michigan. In 1906, he began to develop a lighter breakfast food for people who did not need a heavy meal in the morning. First, Kellogg sliced the kernels off an ear of corn and cooked them. After reading vitamins and flavoring to the corn, Kellogg put in through heavy rollers that pressed it into flakes. Finally, he toasted the flakes until they were crisp. Millions of people loved Kellogg's invention. Corn flakes swept the nation. Will Kellogg came to be known as the King of Cornflakes. Flour milling in Minnesota. Kellogg and others made a lot of money selling breakfast cereals. These products soon became an important part of the economy of the Midwest. Yet the cereal business was only a small part of a larger Midwestern industry, food processing. Food processing turns raw foods such as corn, wheat, and milk into products like cereal, flour, and cheese. The Midwest today makes more food products than any other region in the nation. The story of Minnesota's flour industry will help explain the growth of food processing. Years before Kellogg invented cornflakes, Charles Pillsbury bought one of the many flour mills in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The city had water power from the nearby Mississippi River and a huge supply of wheat from the Great Plains farms of neighboring North Dakota. These advantages made the city a perfect place for the flour industry to develop. Before 1869, millers ground wheat into flour with large, slow millstones. Then Charles Pillsbury found a new way to grind wheat by using rollers. This process produced enormous amounts of excellent flour quickly and cheaply. The new roller mills gave the Minneapolis flour business a great advantage over other companies. Soon, Pillsbury's roller mill was producing more flour than any other mill in the nation. The slow, old grist mills had only produced enough flour for local markets. Now Pillsbury could supply flour to markets all over the country. A market is an area where they are customers for a product. Another key to the flour industry's success was the nation's growing railroad system. Trains carried wheat from farms in North and South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas to the mills of Minneapolis. From there, the railroads also carried Pillsbury's high-quality flour to markets throughout the country. Meatpacking in Chicago. Another new industry, meatpacking, developed in Chicago at the same time as the flour milling industry grew in Minnesota. Located at the southern tip of Lake Michigan, Chicago had become the transportation center of the country. This location helped make Chicago a good place for the new meatpacking industry to develop. From around the country, ranchers could easily ship their livestock to Chicago by railroad. Livestock are animals such as cows, hogs, and sheep that are raised on farms and ranches. At stockyards, Chicago meat packers prepare these animals for sale as meat and other products. Meat packers used railroads to send their products to distant markets, such as cities in the Northeast. The meatpacking industry grew quickly. During the Civil War, which was 1861 to 1865, Chicago stockyards supplied meat to millions of soldiers. 9 railroads ran directly into the huge New Union stockyards, which opened in 1865. In the late 1800s, meatpacking and other industries drew many thousands of workers to Chicago. Many of them were blacks from the southern United States and immigrants seeking a better life. Gustavus F. Swift and other business leaders helped Chicago grow into a big and important city. In the 1880s, Swift developed the refrigerated railroad car. Refrigeration means chilling food to keep it fresh. Without refrigeration, meat spoils quickly. Before Swift's invention, packers could ship meat to distant markets only during the cold winter months. Swift's refrigerated railroad cars helped meat packers reach faraway markets all year round. With these many new customers, the meatpacking industry earned more money and grew rapidly. Cheese making in Wisconsin. Not far from Chicago, another food processing industry was developing in the rolling pasture lands of Wisconsin. Dairy farmers in this area were producing more and more milk, cheese, and butter on their farms. Then, in 1864, Chester Hazen opened Wisconsin's first cheese factory. Hazen made great amounts of high-quality cheese from local farmers' milk. The new refrigerated railroad cars carried cheese products from Wisconsin factories to the Northeast. Some products, like cheese, were even shipped to Europe. Today, Wisconsin produces more milk, butter, and cheese than any other state in the nation. The dairy business and other food processing industries have brought great growth to all of the Midwest. Now, take some time, rewrite these questions on the bottom, and please answer them.